Hello and welcome to Music from Things. I'd like to introduce one of our simple wind instruments, the Modular end-blown flute. We start by taking some 21.5mm overflow PVC pipe. We measure 100mm or 10 centimeters and cut that length of pipe. We then draw a rectangle 28mm long, 8mm wide from the end of the pipe. It's about here. We then mark that position and we then mark a further 7mm past that point as a reference. We then cut the rectangle each side with some tough cut scissors and we cut across the pipe here, so that when we've cut the two sides it will lift up and we can wiggle the piece of plastic out and then gently clean with sandpaper the sides, around the edges, and a short file to shape that edge. When we've got it all clean and square, we can file the part that makes the sound, the fipple, which is this little knife edge section here. This takes a little bit of time, but with patience it's quite straightforward. We have a small needle file and we file at a very shallow angle until the plastic comes down to our extra 7mm line. That's a guide to tell us roughly when we're about there, and that's the part that makes the sound. All this part takes a little time, but not too long. We next cut a piece of wooden dowel 20mm long, 2 centimeters. Sandpaper it smooth, make sure there's no sharp edges anywhere. Put that to one side. We cut a 20mm or 2 centimeter length of the same pipe and we sandpaper it smooth. Then we draw 2 lines down the tube and we cut 2 slits. So we end up with about 10mm missing that way from the pipe. We round the edges of this, make sure it's smooth and safe because it's going to be near our mouth, and then we can take our wooden block, add it into the end of our 100mm tube we've cut our slot into and filed our fipple. We take our piece of plastic we have cut the slit into and rounded off. This is called the ring. We snap that over the pipe and slide it up to the top like that, and we should make a whistle like that. We now take a coupling piece and we add that to the end of our tube, and when we blow the note will get slightly lower. Our next job is to make some tone tubes so we can play some music. We'll start by cutting a long tube, 195mm, smoothing the edges with sandpaper. This will be C. We will then cut another tube, slightly shorter, round the edges. This will be E. We will cut an even shorter tube, again rounding the edges. This one will be our G note. Let's start with C and show you what happens. That was C. This should be E. And this should be G. We've now made the modular flute and we have 3 notes to play. I hope you enjoy making flutes and see you again.